G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me Ringwood, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 18, where I am back in my Valley of Zombie Death, also known as Ringwood Park 2, to continue building what I think is the ultimate underground base. There's a whole bunch of different components that go into an underground base to make it viable and not have the zombies just tunnel through your ceiling on your first horde night down there. So there's a lot of different things that we've got to build. We've already built our base entryway, the automatic roller doors to keep the zombies out but let you come in. So I've come back today to continue on from that and start building the rest of the base. I'm not sure what part I'm going to be building today, either like the living area, the actual base part, or the zombie defenses. I'm not sure which one. I'll decide when I get over there, because before I get over there I have to get down off the dang roof because everyone can see me when I'm up there, and I need to go and welcome more people into the Hall of Legends. And today we are welcoming Gampy, which I've even put the space and the period then of your name like it is on Patreon, Mars, and Sinu. So thank you three, and thank everyone else in here for all your wonderful support. It's getting very, very crowded. I bet like that's a good thing. There's lots of friends on the wall. My doors are broken again, which is always the case. Alright, out we go. So, the underground base has really taken its shape over the last couple of episodes. I mean, we experimented with the vehicle lift. I'm not going to bother putting one of those into this base right now. It's there as a concept should I need it down the track, but I quite like the automatic doors on the ramp entryway, because you just cruise up here, you come up here, and the motion sensor sees you, and it goes, yep, open sesame, and you just go straight down and inside into the tunnel that will lead to the underground base. So from last time, all I've done is I've just extended out the little kind of like landing area down here. The ramp goes down further than it did last time, and now there's a nice kind of flat area for you to drive your Jeep. But through this wall here, is where I'm going to actually build the base. So I'll grab all my tools out of my truck, and we'll start going out this way. So just through there somewhere, I'm not exactly sure where, here is going to be the underground base. It'll be secure, it'll be nice, it'll be lovely, and hopefully it'll keep me safe from all sorts of zombified badness. So what I'm kind of thinking with this is going kind of like a bit of a throwback back to the Alpha 17 underground base that I built with that nice kind of rounded underground garage. Bit similar to that, but this one will be a little bit better, because what I'm thinking is you need a way to make sure that if a wandering horde shows up or a screamer shows up or whatever, that you're prepared for that. Like even the unexpected zombies you need to be prepared against, as well as the horde knights, because everyone can see a horde coming and build themselves up to the top of the world and pretend like they're safe. Everyone can prepare for a horde knight, but the true test of a base, in my opinion, is the unexpected hordes, the wandering hordes or the screamer hordes. That's when you really got to be to know that your base is going to stand up to whatever is thrown at it. So I am going to kind of lean on that idea and make essentially one big giant donut. I'm going to make myself like a cylinder that I live in. You can have like, you know, all your different things, all your different rooms or whatever, but in the middle is going to be the zombie trap. And I've kind of built something similar to this before. Well, I mean, I built one not that long ago over on the infinite loop, kind of the cage base over there, plus like the AFK base back in Alpha 17, and a bunch of different ones along the way, building some sort of zombie drop to control where they go and put them into an area that you can kill them. So I'm going to be doing something similar like that. So the zombies will come into the middle, drop down through the center of the base, so there's going to be one big donut, and then I can kill them at the bottom in the middle. Have like a killing room at the bottom of my base. In fact, I should probably mention, before I go too much further, it's now December, so it's now Christmas time, which means the office has been decorated with all sorts, of, right out of the way, all sorts of lovely trees and Christmassy things. Unfortunately, because I have a gigantic head, it kind of gets in the way of the tree, so I'm gonna have to like rearrange my desk and move the camera, change the camera angle to better show off all the Christmassy goodness back there. But it's now December. It's always Christmas. I love Christmas. I'm very excited. It's just a good time of year. You know, everyone seems to be happy around Christmas, and then I get really sad, but then I usually get happy again. So it's always kind of like a balancing act every December. So you can kind of see the outline of what I'm trying to build here going up already. So this is going to be the big hole in the middle of the donut. But I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking it's probably already a little bit too big. Because after all, I need to have a way up the top, the way I've done it a lot of times before. I'm thinking back to like the old Blender bases, like Blender 1 and Blender 2, where I had the way of like making zombies fall down into the hole. I used wedge tips back then. Wedge tips are even more effective now in Alpha 18 than they were back in Alpha 17. But I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking it's probably a little bit too big. So I'm going to have to throw a little bit of my plan out the window and like get rid of some of the symmetricality, because I was making it all line up with how wide this entry tunnel is, but I don't think that's going to work if I'm going to want it to actually be functional. If the hole is too big, the zombies won't get lured in, and then it's not going to work for me at all. So I might leave those pillars there for the moment, because I do need to keep the roof supported. This is definitely not like an early game base. This is not an easy base like sometimes I build. This is not something you could do by yourself in a week. Like if you had a whole crew of people and you were digging for like the entire day for an entire week, sure, you could probably hole about a cavern this big, but, or not this big, as big as it's going to be down the road. But this isn't something that I would really do by myself until it was late game and I had all the materials in the world and I just wanted to build whatever I could build. So this is not going to be an easy early game base. Absolutely not. This is definitely more down the track at some point. How am I going to do this actually? What's the best way to go? I feel like 4 wide is still going to be the best option. Maybe if I use like bulletproof glass, seeing as we're making this a late game base instead, bulletproof glass as like a tube in the middle that's 4 blocks wide, I'd still get my symmetricality and my aesthetics would all line up, but I wouldn't have this gigantic gaping hole right in the middle of my base. I'm going to have to change the floor from gravel and sand and oil shell and all sorts of wonderful things into concrete, because it's all kind of like lapping up on the sides here, which isn't necessarily always a bad thing. Like to get out of here, it's just like a funny little glitch happened with the sand when I was digging it, and it's actually giving me a nice little ramp up onto here that doesn't scuff the I don't dig the tusks of the truck into the ramp on the way up. So I was considering bringing in the like those narrow ramps I've talked about before that aren't in normal survival, but then I was just digging this out and that stayed like that, and I was like, you know, I'm going to keep it like that because the tusks don't like count as hitting this, but you can get up onto there without doing any damage whatsoever. So that's always kind of nice. But what I'm going to be trying to do is I'm going to make myself like this is the first level is going to be my garage. So I drive in and I can like park my car up here somewhere. It's all nice and protected, but I can just do the loop around the donut hole in the middle and then come back out the other way. So kind of like one of those fancy driveways that rich people have where you can drive in one way, do a loop and then go out the other way. Don't have to reverse out the traffic like a poor little pleb that I am. Kind of like that, but underground and away from all the zombies. That's the plan. But every time I start digging along here, I get a little bit nervous because one bad block placement or one block removal and this whole area comes crashing down and then I'm completely boned like a pork chop up the old clacker. So we don't want to do that one at all. I'm going to build all the way down there, make sure that my donut hole in the middle is all nice and lovely. So all I'm doing is getting some like some rounded bulletproof glass. You can get them all in the same bulletproof glass stack. So I'm getting these ones and those ones. I've got 2 different stacks to make it easier for myself. Just going to make the nice hole in the middle out of that because that'll make my job upstairs far easier. The last couple of blocks go in and just like that we have the entire outer wall done. Now I'm doing it this way because these walls will support the ceiling at the same time. I'm then going to put all the glass in the middle because that's going to support the ceiling as well, because you always got to think, especially when you're doing things underground, you got to think about how things are supported. Now if I was doing this without all like God mode and be able to fly through walls and place things exactly where I want them the first time, I would definitely be going through with like a billion wooden frames, supporting everything with scaffolding, digging out what I needed to, making sure all the supports are there, then removing the wood frames after. So if you're doing it in survival, that's how you should be doing it in survival, because if you have a cave-in, that's going to be bad news bears for the entire rest of your day, because you'll just be there filling in all the ground that you already had, and you're just like backtracing all your steps and wasting all of your time. So I'm going to go up to there, yep, all the way up to the ceiling, and then how far is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 across. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and on the end of that, we'll get another little glass ramp like that, get it all nice and curvy and good. All right, look at that. It's really coming together. I like it. Alright, this is the moment of truth, trying to get rid of all the sand that is all backed up in here, which is making me nervous because one wrong click here and it is all over Red Rover. That looks like it's about right. Double check everything before we get rid of stuff. Just small, that was silly, wasn't all that I needed. Just small little increments at a time. We don't need to go overboard straight away. We can just kind of work our way through it without doing anything dumb. There we go, get rid of that one. Yes, good, no collapses yet. Still got these big pillars of sand all around here though, but you can see it's really starting to take shape, and I really, oh, I just got rid of a whole, did I get rid of a whole corner or did I not build a corner? I think I got rid of a whole corner. That's really annoying. I've built these corners before. If you're curious for how I'm doing this, it's just a combination of wedge tips, wedges, and ramps. So you can see I've got like the wedge tip there, then the wedge, then the ramp, then the wedge, then the wedge tip. So you just kind of wrap it around like that. It makes a really nice kind of smooth corner. And anytime you can make a corner out of this, because this game is all squares, anytime you get something a little bit more rounded, I quite like it. It just looks a bit nicer to me. Now I have to rebuild this one from scratch. Wedge, wedge. Hang on, what have I done? I need to think about this for a second. There we go. It's all done. I mean, there's still a lot of work to do to get it to look all kind of nice and stuff because it looks a little bit hodgepodge right now, but I've got the hole in the center, so up the top here, I've just leveled off some of the ground so I can build a little bit easier on it later. But if the only thing that kind of gives away the fact that you have a base under here is one little square in the ground there and a hidden little entrance over there, why are my doors open? I think maybe my generators run out of power, maybe, I guess. I'm not sure. Either way, I can fix that later. We know they work. That's the one problem with running battery generators, not solar, is occasionally they run out of power, especially when you have to do the inverse circuit, so you have the reversible power. You're running things on a lot of the time, which kind of drains your power just a little bit. But it's all looking pretty good down here. So let's just test it with the Jeep. We'll jump into you. All right, so we come down here, come into our base. We go, oh, don't hit the wall. Hit the wall a little bit. You can go around here, probably not at 1,000,000 miles an hour, given that it's pretty bloody tight in here, all the way around there, and then when you need to leave, straight back out the entry, up the ramp, and away. Oh, the doors are back on again. I'm not sure why they changed, but whatever. There we go, look, out the top, and away we go off on our next adventure. That's all working perfectly. I love it. Okay, so now we've got the proof of concept down. We can just go through and place a couple more of the, of any sort of blocks that's going to make it look a little bit better. Up, and please don't close on me, and down. Yes, look at that. Perfect. Oh, it's so good. It's everything I wanted it to be. All right, we can finish off the floor and probably the roof. Then we can start like working our way on the next level. We're going to have like the garage level, the living level, and then the zombie killing level, I think. So 2 little things to keep in mind when you're doing this. You want to try and protect your glass as much as possible. So given that I'm driving around here and I'm a pretty bloody terrible driver, I am no big dick Danny Rick. I'm going to put in some little metal pylons just kind of on the corners here, little apex markers, just so that if I do kind of run the apex a little hard, I'll hit that instead of the glass. Got to protect that glass at all costs. But the other thing to remember is what actual block the glass is taking up. So you can see up the top here, I mean, I've cleared out every block that isn't directly attached to the glass, but this is somewhere the zombies could land. Because look, this here is the actual hole. Then you've got this ridge around the outside here where the block is thinking that it's a glass block, but it's actually somewhere the zombies can land and stand. And we do not want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue this like kind of whatchamacallit, this glass tube down a little bit further like that, connecting it to the floor that I've just built. So if I connect it all the way around like that one, that'll give it the support it needs there. Then on the other side, I can go like this, copper rotation, and connect it up like that. So now it's being supported off the floor rather than sitting on the glass down the bottom, which means I can actually go through, you can already see, and remove these blocks in the middle here so the zombies have no impedance for when they drop in the top here, all the way down to the bottom down there. Now again, even though this is a drop base, this is a fall base, I mean, they've changed the way that zombies take damage from falls now. So you need 3 maximum level drops with no healing in between to kill a zombie at the bare minimum, which often takes more than that. So we're not relying on them taking damage from falling. We're just trying to get them into a place where we can focus on them without running the risk of them damaging the rest of our base. That's much better. All the glass is now supported both at the top by a ring and down the bottom by a ring. We've also got some lovely natural sunlight coming. We've built ourselves a skylight, which is going to be very, very useful coming later. I've got a lot of plans for this base. So this is kind of going to be just a single base that I put all sorts of different ideas into, rather than before where I build separate bases for separate things. This is going to be kind of just like an amalgamation of all my stupid, crazy ideas. So some of which may not work, I don't know, but we'll give it a crack. This is going to be my experimentation area just to see how it goes. But now that we've got our garage floor done, let's actually move our 4x4 Jeep into its area. Let's go the opposite way this time. Yep, clip a couple of barriers, that's fine. Could have built it a little bit wider. In fact, let's just change ourselves over to a motorcycle, given that the Jeep is a little bit cumbersome, a little bit annoying, and I'd rather just have a Jeep instead. I mean, look, you could build garages off the sides here. That would be kind of cool, actually. I did that kind of in Alpha 17, so I'm not going to do it again now. But you could build little storage areas off the sides to keep your vehicles in, or you could just do it like this and store your cars like they stored the Civics in Fast and the Furious behind that big water tanker. Just like stack them all up one after the other, and that should be fine. Look at that. With the bicycle, not the bicycle, the motorcycle, that'll be far, far easier to get around. But now I just need to think about where... Maybe I will build like a little doorway off the back here, kind of a little stairwell down to the next level, because this is going to be the garage level. Now I need a person level. So this is the scariest part of this build. And I'm doing this with God mode, so I've just kind of built the skeleton of the floor down below. This is another reason why, like I was talking before about how this is absolutely not an early game base. This would take far too much digging for both you and all your friends out to bring it. You have to bring like a whole construction crew to get this to work. This is not an easy base at all, and the risk involved with this is always so high that one wrong move could really ruin everything you've been building, and that is not a good risk to be taking all the time. But given that I have God mode and can do it relatively quickly, I'm going to give this a crack. Please don't collapse. Ah, look at that. Perfect. I'm going to keep some of the sandstone walls. I really like the look of sandstone walls. I like the natural textures that you get out of that. So let's go from there to there. If that one didn't collapse, then none of this should collapse. Imagine if you actually did this in Survivor, right? You spent all this time digging all of this out, and then one wrong move and the whole thing collapses on you. That would be devastating. I can't even imagine spending that much time and trying to claim like this is going to be a good base for you. This is not going to be a thing at all. Let's go to there and go to there. And this is going to be a fun base to build when you're all sorts of almighty all over the apocalypse. All right. There we go. So this is going to be the level that we live on. Garage level, human level. We're going to put a little staircase down on the backside over here now that everything there is not collapsed. Need to get rid of all of this nonsense and replace it with normal sandstone so it looks nice and normal again. But with those two levels, I reckon the next level down here is going to be the zombie killing room. We're going to make like a little, maybe like a little hatch or something in the side of the wall here. Someone to get down and like sit on a gantry or something somewhere up and elevated. So we're taking advantage of their altitude seeking algorithm. We could do that. We can sit down here, shoot all the zombies, throw grenades, throw whatever you want, set them on fire, just separate their limbs, do whatever you please to them because we're only zombies after all. But once that's there, I reckon this will be pretty good to go. Oh boy, this is taking a while, and I've got all the tools to do it with. When I started out building this, I was like, yeah, this is something I could see myself building in survival one day. But now that I've been doing it with all of the tools known to man, it's still taking quite a while. And I'm probably just not going to build something this big in survival unless I got really bored. It was like day 100 and something. I'd already completed everything else I had to do. I wouldn't build something like this. But I'm here now, and I've got it all going, and this is going to be the zombie killing room. So up here, I've got my nice little ladder to go between the garage level and the person level. So go down like that. There we go. This can be our nice little living area with all we need. You honestly don't need that much space in 7 days. I mean, all you need like 4 different crafting stations, a bed, and some storage. That's all you really need. Everything on top of that is just kind of extra fluffery to make life a little bit better. But now that we've got this floor done, I need to figure out how I'm going to be able to get down here to murder the zombies when they fall down. Because they're going to come down to this bit here, they'll land on this square, and they'll be stuck down here to do whatever they please. I'll see them falling down the channel in the middle as well, which would be kind of nice little warning. So maybe like just on this side to make it a little bit more symmetrical. I've got the entryway there and the entryway here, so let's just like follow this again and go out this way. To build myself a nice little entryway down to the bottom part and sit on top of a gantry up here so they can't actually get to me. I'll put it all the way out to the middle basically so they keep trying to like aim towards the middle, that I beat on the other stuff too much, I hope. And then I could probably just like suspend it from the ceiling, I suppose. I don't need to worry about it being supported by the walls. I've done the testing. This hole isn't too big that it can be supported just with the archway, just with the supports on either side. So there's no real worries about the whole thing collapsing by zombie damage down here. It's all supported and all nice. That seems like, I think, the best way to do it. So I'll go through this wall a little bit. I'll build a little way down and then hang like a railway off the ceiling so we can do whatever we need to do to kill all the zombies that make their way into my hole of death. This is like the Sarlacc pit, but for zombies instead of bounty hunters. You know what? I think that's what I'll call this base. This will be called the Sarlacc pit. It's just a hole in the middle of the desert that things fall into, but instead of having 1,000 years of being digested by some monster with tentacles, they get shot in the face by an Australian muppet with a bow and arrow. That seems close enough to me. So this is going to be the Sarlacc pit base. I quite like that. Any sort of cheeky little reference I can throw in here or there is always a good time. I'm going to make this gantry out of iron bars purely because then if zombies get stuck underneath the walkway, then I'll still be able to shoot them, and I won't have to worry about them like breaking down the wall over here or doing any sort of excess damage that I don't want them to do, because I can still shoot through that without any real worries. And I think I might even just go, I said really weird there, didn't I? Go like this and just kind of get you in the right spot. Let's support you from the ceiling. Now that's not actually supporting it, I don't think. No, it's not. Just kind of get you going across like that. Now iron bars are deceptively heavy. Using them is a little bit risky because often if you put too many iron bars down, it will collapse and you'll have bad news bears all around. I need to go out a little bit further though. How am I going to support this from the ceiling? Maybe You know what? Maybe the iron bars on the sides wasn't such a smart idea. Let's get rid of you and get all the way out to there. Get rid of all of that. Because instead of that, I was going to put in some poles, I think, just to kind of support everything from the roof. Because that's my main goal here. I don't want to put anything down to the ground and give them something to aim for. I want them to be stuck down there, doing nothing, thinking nothing, just being a bunch of zombified mups. So that's what I've built to keep myself suspended from the ceiling. That's the gantry. So it's a bunch of iron bars all the way along with some steel poles connected to the ceiling like that. So all the way along here, there's no like single points of it being supported. All the way along here is all supported nice and neatly. Now there's no tricks here. There's no like fool or like pulling the wool over your eyes. The physics is active. Everything is here and legit. If you built this in survival, if you went through all of this effort and spent 4 weeks of your life digging out this goddamn hole and you built this connected to the ceiling, that would be a-okay. You would have no issues whatsoever. But now, I need to see what's going to happen if I call in some screamers, because that's the one I'm kind of worried about. But before I do that, I need to actually finish up the Sarlacc hole up the top. And I've done this before many, many times. This is not something completely new, but I will show you how to do it. Oh, shit, if I put the block in the right spot. Alright, well the block is testing out where the zombies are going to go. Thank you for testing that for me, Blockaroonie. So I just need to build myself a little support thing up the top here to stick the blocks onto, just like that. And we're going to connect some wedge tips onto this, just like I did way back when. I think the first time I did this was that the AFK base, way back when, where I made a hole with some wedge tips around the outside that zombies would just see as a block and run straight over the edge, straight down into. Nothing new, nothing special, but tried and true, and definitely should work out for me here. So that should be all that it needs. All that is just wedge tips around the outside and then these inside corner steep blocks to go in the corners there to make it all nice and lovely looking. You could do it without making it like aesthetic like that. You don't have to worry about the corner pieces. They don't actually make that much of a difference in regards to zombie pathing, but I just like the look of it a little bit more. Now sure, I could fall down there and break all of my bones, which would be a bad thing for me to do. Yep, 1 hour of broken leg if I do that. But I mean, hopefully the blazing red around the outside here will warn me about that if I saw it coming up. Now you could even extend this down if you wanted to using the regular wedges like that and kind of get them copied on the same rotation down like that, just to like narrow the hole a bit if you wanted to push them a little bit further out. In fact, I might do that just because, I mean, there's no reason not to, I suppose, just to get it looking a little bit nicer, you know, a little bit of a deeper drop, just so they don't come down here and potentially like hit this tiny little bee's dick of a gap here where the glass runs up. I can't bother digging all the, like putting all the glass in all the way up to the roof up there. It should kick him out enough as is, but just to be safe and not be sorry, I'll continue my way around here and just like kick him out just a little bit further, because why not? Once this is done, I'll spawn in some zombies, we'll test it out, see if it works. It should work pretty well. All of the things, all of the laws we've discovered in Alpha 18 so far seem to line up. So hopefully this will work. I don't know. Only one way to know for sure though, that's to finish the build and spawn in a couple of Jeffreys. So as always with all of my things, the first thing we're going to test this with is a bunch of Chelseas. This is not going to be the only test I do. This is just the first rung on that ladder. Let's get their attention. Let's shoot the gun, turn the AI on. You're going to go down for me? Yep, straight down. As soon as I get onto the red, they slip and fall all the way down to the bottom. Then they're down here for me to shoot off as much as I like. Now if I'm still in my body here, I mean look, I've got a nice range of sight. I can see everything around here, pepper them, do whatever I want. Now I haven't built, I mean look, I could build like I did the other episode. I could build myself a force field cage down here to keep them in the middle. I mean that's kind of bringing another idea in. I might do that off camera as well, but I just want to test the mechanism of getting them down here. Once they're down here, I can do whatever I want with them, but that's the tricky part, making them fall down into my little killing lair. And I've even got a couple of screamers come in. It's perfect timing to see what they're going to do. So if I'm running forges or whatever down the bottom, straight down to the bottom. In fact, you know what? Let's get their attention. Let's get them to bring in a couple of extra friends to this party of death. Oh, what's she doing? Doesn't like it. She's Spidey girl. All the other zombies, oh god, okay. All the other zombies have trouble sticking to the red stuff, but those two are just sitting there. Oh, no, there they go. Okay. They were thinking about it, they were umming and ahhing, but sure enough, down they go. So there you go. As long as you're in your little cage down here, or I guess anywhere in this base, then you'll be a-okay, and there's nothing really to worry about. You can kill all the friends that come down to join you. There's a dog who's very confused, a couple of dogs even, 3 dogs even. God damn, it's like a dog horde cruising down. All the other zombies are welcome to come too, but so far, this is looking pretty bloody good. Oh, more dogs. Well, nothing else really for it other than to give myself a horde and see how that goes. Let's go all the way to about there. That should go up pretty quickly. Yep, reasonably fast. I want to see what this horde is going to do. The sun's going to set, a horde's going to show up. God, this game's pretty sometimes. Look at that. How could you not love it? Right, hordes should show up and they should focus on, as a plane comes overhead very, very late, they should focus on this, come down and join me right down the bottom where I will be waiting for them holding a big purple rockin' cock of M60 goodness. Right, where are we? How are we looking? 40 more minutes. Now, once it gets to horde, I'll probably turn the speed down. Just want to see how the zombies react to all this. Go on, hurry up, and boom, there it is. All right, let's turn you down. Let's also go and probably turn the camera up a little bit so I can actually see what's happening up on the surface. There we go. Okay, how are we looking? Where are they all coming from? Here they come. Please come in. Please come and slide into my hole. I'd very much appreciate if you could get right in there, right deep. Come and get right up in me guts and see what it's like up the other end. Perfect, perfect. Oh, look, some of them are getting stuck up the top. That's right. As soon as I take them the step, they'll go down. Most of them are falling. Yeah, they're all falling down. No worries at all. Oh, okay. One got stuck on the glass there. That's what we're trying to avoid. Thank God I put that extra kind of wedge there. It's because they're falling and then decided to try and run towards me, depending on what side I'm on, to try and come and hit me. Oh God, they're destroying all of my walls down here, which is okay. They can destroy those walls as much as they like. That's not super important to me because that's not actually holding up my gantry or my base. It's all supported up above me. So I can sit here and just rinse them all night long without any issues whatsoever. Now, sure, I'm using an M60, but this is, I mean, again, this is just the proof of concept kind of thing. Plus, at this point, you're probably going to have a pretty fucking balls to the wall M60 to rock a horde night with. That's not, look at that. You could even just like, you could put some hatches in here. In fact, I could even go like this, given that I'm holding, using bloody steel poles. I remember the words. Look at that, just throw some grenades down there. No worries. They're all nice and gone, easy as you like. So having those poles on the side has the double extra awesome feature of being grenade holes, and you can just pepper. You can pepper all night long. I have nothing to worry about down here. I stand here, wait for the zombies to come into my killing field, and rinse them like I'm rinsing some dishes after dinner. Easy as you like. So it's now the next day, and I've spent some time just building to get this all the way up to the point where I think it needs to be. And what I've done, aside from extending the glass all the way up to the surface to stop any zombies landing on the top lip of that glass column, I've also incorporated my invisible zombie cage into the bottom over here. It's something that I've already built, either in yesterday's episode or the day before. I'm not exactly sure what the schedule's going to be, but I built this a couple episodes ago, and basically, it's a force field around the outside of a plate in the middle that keeps the zombies in the middle of the area so I can kill them a little bit easier. So I've tried and tested it here and incorporated it into the bottom of that drop. So when the zombies come in through the Sarlacc pit at the top before all the way down the bottom here, they will land here, they'll get stuck here, and it should stop them trying to tunnel their way through the wall over here. It should work pretty well. It's incorporating another idea into the underground base, which is what the underground base is for. So I've got some screamers at the top ready to go. Let's actually just turn it to nighttime because I'm impatient as a ballsack and I really want this to go rather quickly. So please come down the drop for me. Where are you? You're all, oh, there we go. They're coming down. It's raining screamers. So you're going to come down for me? Yes, there we go. Okay, they're all down the bottom. Can you scream, please? Scream and bring some friends. I want to prove that this will work against a horde. But so far, you can already see that it's kind of stuck right there. Oh, one made it across the force field. Quickly just murder her. But like, you can see they kind of hover and just kind of group up right below you. So don't really need to pay much attention to them at all. Did you guys not bring any friends to this party? It's a pretty shit party if you don't bring any friends. Alright, I'll call in some more screamers to get some more going, because 4 screamers doesn't really prove the point. Alright, here we go. This is looking a bit better. I've come down the bottom just to get them to scream a little bit so I can actually get all their friends to come to this party. One's better on the outside again. I'm not sure how you're getting across, but I mean, I'm not too concerned about it. 1 or 2 zombies getting across the force field is not that big of a deal. One shot with a hollow point round kills the screamer. Here we go. Here's all the other mobs. So look, they all come down the bottom here, and you just like kind of sit here and just pepper them. No real worries at all. Oh my god, I might have bitten off a little bit more than I wanted to chew here. That's quite a couple of zombies. Quite a little crowd at the bottom of the Sarlacc pit. This Sarlacc will not have to eat again. No more bounty hunters for a good couple of millennia. He will be well nourished and well happy. Probably gonna have to grow another couple of tentacles too to pull in some more unsuspecting victims. I can hear someone bidding on metal somewhere, I'm not sure where, but you can kind of see what's going on here. They all just kind of stand right there. You could even get rid of some of these bars here, I guess, and open up a hole to throw some grenades down if you so desired. God damn it, I can't hit a fast-moving target like that. Who is beating on stuff? Someone's beating on something somewhere. Are they in? How did you get inside my base? Did the screamer call? Did you spawn in there when the screamer called you? Because if that's the case, that is some serious horseshit. But look at that, everyone's dead, a nice pile of bodies. That's exactly how all of this works. So yeah, it works pretty bloody well as another horde rolls in. Is that a wandering horde? I don't think it was a screamer horde. It looks like a wandering horde all coming through. Let's just make sure that works too. Actually, while we got it there, let's turn on their AI again. They come over and they should all start. Yep, there we go. They all start falling down as well. They're all coming down to join the party at the bottom of the pit. It's perfect. I'm so glad I went to the effort to build this extra little bit to get it just to work that little bit better. But okay, that's enough. We've proved the concept. So that's where it's kind of ended up. That's kind of the end design that I had in my head. I just didn't have the time to build it yesterday. But with all that done, it's now back to yesterday's Josh. There you go, guys. I think the underground base is coming together rather well with the entryway over there and like the nice couple of levels down here. It's all, I feel like this is going to be the best way to build an underground base in Alpha 18. You need to give the zombies somewhere to go, and like building a base around that is making the best use of that space. You can have whatever you like on this level here, but there's more I want to add to this base and truly make it the ultimate underground base. But now I have my Sarlacc pit horde night base completed, I can start thinking about some of the more livable features of my underground goodness. So I'll have to come back and build some more things that probably aren't for early game stage, but whatever, they're fun builds all the same in the next episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked it, make sure to like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.